You good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, good morning. We will call the our 79th organizational meeting to order at 8:32. So the first order of business is the adoption of the organizational meeting agenda. If there's any additions, deletions, or if not, then a motion to approve. Councillor Christie?
I'll move the agenda as amended, or as presented.
Hey.
We're not amending that.
Okay. All those in favor? It is carried unanimously. Second order of business is the voting procedures. And so this is just a clarification or agreement prior to us needing anything if we do. The first motion that we'd be looking for is that council utilize the voting procedures of secret ballot when there is more than one nomination for the position of Reeve and Deputy Reeve. And the follow-up motion to that all ballots be destroyed at the end of the meeting. So if there's no questions or concerns about those procedures and council is good with adopting those, then I'd be looking for a couple of motions. Councillor King.
So I'd make the motion then that council utilize the voting procedures of secret ballot if there's more than one nomination for position of Reeve and Deputy Reeve.
There any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, I'll call to question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillor Woodstock.
I would move the council approve that all ballots be destroyed at the end of the organizational meeting.
Okay. There any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, I'll call to question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, the next item before us is a housekeeping item. So believe it or not, this is knowing that where we do business is a requirement of the MGA. We've added it to the agenda here so that it is easy to find. With that, if there is no discussion or any other thing like that, I'd be looking for a motion to just state where the county does business.
I was interested in what options there might be. Yeah, I have one of the longer drives, so, you know, no, just kidding. I would like to make that motion that council establish the municipal office at 1600 2nd Street Northeast, Three Hills, Alberta.
Thank you, Councillor McGee. In answer to your question, anywhere in the county is an option if you're willing to put the money into it. I suspect we're not, so I recommend we name here.
What's the toughest place in Phoenix?
Is there any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, the next order of business is the election of Reeve. So as per a procedural bylaw, I'll call for nominations 3 times. And with that, I will open up the floor for nominations. Councillor Woodstock.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. It would be an honor and my privilege to nominate Councillor King for the position of Reeve for our 79th year of existence.
79 years later?
Yeah. Councillor King, do you accept that nomination?
I would, yes.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask again, are there any other nominations for the position of Reeve for the upcoming year? Seeing none, I'll ask a third time. Are there any other nominations for the position of Reeve for the upcoming year? And seeing none, I will looking for a motion that nominations cease. Councillor Penner? All those in favor? Carried unanimously, and with that, we'll acclaim Councillor King as Reeve King for the upcoming year.
Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you, Jerry. This is a complicated process. You got to take all this stuff.
Am I doing this?
Sure. I like the locker you brought along there. That's a good locker you brought. Yeah, the box? Yeah.
Ms. Vanderkool will now administer the oath of office for Reeve.
You administer, I just say.
You just say,
Okay.
and then sign, and I commission.
Oh, okay. complicated. So I, Kenneth King, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Reeve for Kneehill County, so help me God. And so then I have to fill this out.
You just need to sign, I can fill the rest out for you. Okay. Because it'll be nice and neat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, with that bit of business done, I will now turn the chairpersonship of the meeting over to Reeve King.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. And before we go any further, I think it's appropriate that I say a few things about our former Reeve. And I want to thank Jerry for his diligence in leading and his patient coaching of a collection of new and inexperienced counselors. That's very much appreciated. The council of today and the excellent rapport and the working relationship that we have here on council and with the county CAO, our senior leadership and our staff are a testament to your leadership, and so thank you for that. On behalf of council and myself personally, I want to thank you, Jerry, and I only hope that I'm able to follow in your footsteps. And I don't think I can fit in your shoes, but I'll follow in your footsteps and serve council and the people of Kneehill County as well as you have. So thank you very much for your service.
Well, thank you very much. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time on council. I mean, I'm not going anyplace, not for at least a couple of years. But that being said, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve with each and every individual, whether that be in council, through staff. We've seen a lot of changes over the years, and every change that we've made has always been improved the direction that we're headed. Like I said, I've been here a long time, and I've seen a lot of change, and I just see everything, it just keeps getting better. So, good luck, Ken. You don't need it, because you're gonna make an excellent Reeve. I know that for a fact. And I just want to thank, I guess, council for the support they've given me over the years, and I really do appreciate that. And not just council, but administration. I mean, our administration is just fantastic. And I'm not going to start naming names because the list is just too long. So anyway, I'm going to keep it short. So thank you.
Yep, thank you, Jerry. The only other thing I would say is thank you to council for your support as well, and I hope that you know that I'm hoping that you'll keep me in line, and when I step out of line that you'll drag me right back in. So I would appreciate that as well. So, and I appreciate your confidence in me, so thank you. The next order of business on our agenda would be the election of the deputy Reeve for 2023. So I will call for nominations for the position of deputy Reeve. Councillor McGee.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Woodstock. That was hard to say. I almost said Reeve. You will be missed. Thank you so much for your time there, and we want to keep your wisdom near and close to us, so therefore I nominate you as deputy.
Councillor Whitstock, will you accept that nomination?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Councillor McGee. I appreciate the nomination. And as far as wisdom goes, well, I've been here long enough. I can say anything, and it'll still, nobody can testify that it didn't happen. So. And I shouldn't have said that out loud. But I am. Oh, sorry, I didn't have my mic on. Yeah, that worked out even better. But I've always tried to be as honest and forthright as possible. So thank you for the nomination.
When you're Reeve and you sit with a microphone on all the time, it's hard to remember to turn it on and turn it off. So thank you for accepting that nomination. I will call again. Any further nominations for the second time for the office of Deputy Reeve? Councillor Forbes.
I nominate Councillor McGee.
Okay, we have a nomination for Councillor McGee. Councillor McGee, will you accept that nomination?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so we have, thank you, Carolyn. And I will call for any further nominations for the position of Deputy Reeve for the third and final time. And seeing none, I'll look for a motion that nominations cease. Councillor Cunningham?
I move that council declare nominations to cease.
Okay. All those in favor? And that's carried unanimously. So, we need to vote. And I assume an X or a check in the appropriate spot.
It's quite the ballot box you got there.
Yes.
Yesterday it was dessert.
The question is who ate the
What
ice
happened to
cream?
that silver one we used to have? What happened to that silver box we used to have? Didn't make the move?
I bet it was,
Wasn't me.
it was Carolyn and her family, I'm assuming.
Hey,
Mr. Hogan,
The count, I'd like to congratulate Deputy Reeve Woodstock.
congratulations, Reeve Woods, or Deputy Reeve Woodstock.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Just need to sign.
Just need to sign
And then say the oath.
and say the oath. Okay, I, Jerry Whitstock, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Deputy Reeve for Kneehill County, so help me God.
Well, congratulations, Deputy Reeve Woodstock, and Councillor McGee, thank you for your willingness to participate in the process.
It's an honor.
The next order of business is the one that we all love so much, and Carolyn. You know what? I think Carolyn loves this more than all of us, and that's the seating order of council. So, starting with, I guess, Councillor McGee, she gets to choose first.
I know why she's so excited, because she must want to get rid of me in this chair.
You get to choose.
Yeah,
You don't really get a choice.
You get what's left.
and we start at 1 at Laura Lee, right?
Yes.
So at this time, everybody gets to change their chairs. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm at Karen's.
So you take your chair likely with you as well. Just put all your stuff on your chair. Ooh, uh-oh.
I'm not taking
Okay,
I got a bad chair.
so I guess the fun times are over for me now. Oh, no. Not stuck. Laura Lee, are you going over there? Oh, okay.
So, how about the chair? Oh, that one, maybe. We'll see. It must be. Sorry there, sir.
Oh. Where are all these things?
Okay.
No, it's all good. Adjourned? That's you, sir? Number 1. Oh, my favorite number. Oh, that's funny. 4 is my favorite. You're gonna make me a number. Counselor Tanner and Counselor Reeve, we'd like to welcome you to our side. Yeah. They're like the guys from Muppets, right? Well, what's their name? Sorry.
Oh, sure. Send that to Wade.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
So I know, Laura Lee, you said you were going to the dark side?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that when
I retract that, Reeve. Yes, yes. Oh, it's different over here. It is. It's just different. It's weird.
See, I get used into it, I just come once, you know.
Oh, and that's, that's for you, or is that for me?
that
That
one's
should be
Jerry's.
mine.
Interesting. So what?
So when Counselor Keever was still on council, I think he had one chair that he sat in for almost his entire career on council. And then we bumped him one year, and I think that was the beginning of the end for him.
What's that? Well, I left one.
I left nothing for you. Sorry. I could give you some candies though, because I have a lot of candies.
I moved everything I have in my drawer.
All right, are we settled enough that we can continue in our agenda, or do we need a moment yet?
I think we're good. Carolyn stays moved.
That's one of Carolyn's favorite moments of the year, is to readjust the seating in council. All right, so what we are going to do now, I guess, we would move on in our agenda to item 7, which are the regular council meeting dates for 2024. And Mr. Hogan, I assume you're taking this item.
Through you, Mr. Reeve, the item that's before you is just the establishment of your regular meeting dates. Of course, we establish these as part of the organizational meeting so that there's not a requirement to advertise them as there would be with a special meeting or anything like that. They still get advertised, but it establishes a normal course of business that the county is going to undertake. So attached to the item is a schedule that outlines the dates of the regular council meetings. They have not altered in terms of being the second and fourth Tuesday. There are some alterations within that schedule, though, moving them around different conferences like RMA, Ag Service Board, cancellation of the one later December meeting. History tells us nobody really wants to meet for a meeting at Christmas, but so we moved that one. So there are some amendments like that, and they're listed in the item itself. So if there's any questions, we can field those. If not, we'd be looking for the recommended motion.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Are there any questions or discussion around the council schedule for 2024? Seeing none, would someone care to make a motion to set the organizational meeting and the regular council meeting dates for next year. Councillor Forbes.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion that council approve the scheduling of the 2024 organizational meeting for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, and to hold all the regular council meetings dates on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month, with the exception of January, where there'll be a meeting scheduled around the Ag Service Board conference, July, only one meeting, August, only one meeting, and December, only one. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the question. All those in favor? And that's carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item of business is the Committee of the Whole meeting dates for 2024. And Mr. Hogan, I'll turn that over to you as well, please.
Hey, through the chair, this is the same type of item, looking to schedule the Committee of the Whole meeting dates for the upcoming year. Again, we've kept them, recommending keeping them to the third Tuesday of every month at 8:30 a.m., with the exceptions in March, July, and August, and rescheduling the December Committee of the Whole meeting to be held on an earlier date.
Any questions? If not, would somebody care to make a motion? Councillor Cunningham.
I move that council approve the third Tuesday of every month at 8:30 a.m. for Committee of the Whole meeting with the exceptions as listed.
Okay, thank you for that. So I have a motion to accept the dates for the Committee of the Whole meetings for 2024. Any further conversation or discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the question. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously as well. The next item of business is Municipal Planning Commission meeting dates for 2024. And Mr. Hogan, I'll turn it back to you again, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Following the same theme as the last couple of items, just looking to schedule the Municipal Planning Commission meetings. So looking to maintain we're recommending to maintain the MPC meetings as the fourth Thursday of each month, with the exception of December. Looking to still have a meeting in December, we would simply do that a little bit earlier on the 19th.
Okay, thank you for that. Any discussion? If not, then I would be looking for a motion. Councillor McGee.
I move we approve the scheduling of the 2024 Municipal Planning Commission meetings on the fourth Thursday of each month in 2024, with the exception of the December to be on the 19th.
Okay, thank you for that. So we have a motion to approve the dates for the Municipal Planning Commission meetings for 2024. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried unanimously as well. All right, next comes committee and board appointments for 23-24. And we start with the Agriculture Service Board. And Mr. Hogan, again, please.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, this item is recommending that council appoint members to the Agricultural Service Board as well as an alternate. There are secondary motions to appoint the chair and to appoint one member at large for a 3-year term. I believe, as council is aware, the members at large on this particular committee rotate, so each year there's a different one that comes up, and they serve multi-year terms. The Agricultural Service Board is an advisory board to council. It is a requirement under legislation that we have this.
Right, thank you. So currently sitting on the Ag Service Board are Councillor Christie, Penner, King, and Forbes, with Councillor McGee being the alternate. No, that's quite all right. So I guess we're looking for people to sit on the Ag Service Board. Certainly, since I have the microphone, I'm going to say that I would like to continue there. However, if someone would rather sit there than myself, I can attend as the Reeve. So if council wishes, then we would allow someone else to sit in my place. Councillor Forbes.
I would like to stay on this board.
Okay, thank you for that. Deputy Reeve Whitstock.
I would like to be part of the Ag Service Board if that works in, but I've enjoyed the opportunity to sit there as Reeve, and I've tried to make as many of those meetings as possible, so.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Christie.
I'd like to stay on this board.
All right. Councillor Penner.
I'm the same way, please. I'd stay on the board.
Stay on. All right. So that would, as I said, I'm willing to step aside to allow someone else to sit on that because I have the ability to go as the Reeve. So if Councillor Christie and Penner and Whitstock, Deputy Reeve Whitstock, would like to sit, then I would willingly step aside for that. We need an alternate member as well. Councillor McGee.
I'm glad to remain as alternate.
Okay. All right. And that's, council's good with that? If so, then I would need a motion to appoint the members and the alternate to the Ag Service Board. Councillor Penner.
I'll make the motion that council appoint Councillor Christie, Councillor Penner, Councillor Woodstock, and Councillor Forbes to the Agricultural Service Board, and appoint Faye McGee as an alternate member.
Okay. So we have a motion to appoint Councillor Christie and Penner and Deputy Reeve Whitstock to the Agricultural Service Board, and to appoint Councillor McGee as the alternate. Oh, did I miss? Sorry, Councillor Forbes. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. The next motion that we would need would be to appoint someone as the chair. And I know, Councillor Christie, you've been the chair.
I've enjoyed it very much, so thank you.
Councillor Penner.
Since he enjoys it that much, I'd make the motion that Councillor Christie is appointed the chair of the Ag Service Board. He does a very good job.
I'm going to say oops.
Okay, so we have a motion to appoint Councillor Christie as the chair to the Agriculture Service Board. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item of business would be to appoint a member at large to sit on a 3-year term on the Agriculture Service Board beginning January 1st of 2024. Councillor Christie.
I'll move to appoint Alfred Newfield as a member at large for a 3-year term to the Agricultural Service Board, effective January 1st, 2024, and expiring December 31st, 2026.
Okay. Any discussion to that motion? I think was the recommendation coming from Ag Service Board?
Yes, and the only question I had is to make sure that he accepted.
His application was in, so I'm assuming.
Yeah.
His application was received, so I'm assuming that if his application is in, that he would,
That was my only,
Approved,
that was
yeah.
my only thought of, as long as he was contacted, but if not, that's fine.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, we have a motion to appoint Alfred Neufeld as the member at large for a 3-year term to the Agriculture Service Board, effective January 1st, 2024, expiring December 31st, 2026. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously as well. I guess it'd be appropriate at this point in time also to say thank you to Marlon Carey, who served a 3-year term, and his term expires December 31st this year. So just to say we appreciate his service. Councillor Penner.
And I'd also like to thank everyone that put their name in. Please continue to put your name in. This was great to see that people are interested and willing to come forward and sit on some of our boards.
Thank you for that reminder. It's very appropriate that we do acknowledge that people are willing to sit, and it hasn't always been that way, so it's very good to see that. So thank you for that reminder. The next item on our agenda would be the Agricultural Appeal Board appointments. Mr. Hogan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We need to appoint this appeal board. Administration's recommendation that we've used in the past number of years is to make use of the Subdivision Development Appeal Board for these purposes. So they are two separate appeal boards, but by doubling the membership up, there's some training that and some philosophies that overlap the two. So that is our recommendation.
Okay. So we have a recommendation that we utilize the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for the Agricultural Appeal Board. Any discussion? Seeing none, would someone care to make that motion? Councillor Cunningham.
I'll move that council utilizes the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for the Agricultural Appeal Board.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that also is carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is 10.3, Soil Conservation Appeal Board. And Mr. Hogan again, please.
Under the Soil Conservation Act, we are required to appoint a Soil Conservation Appeal Board. We're recommending that the Ag Service Board fulfill this function.
Okay, so we have a recommendation that the Ag Service Board serve as the Soil Conservation Act Appeal Board. Any discussion? Seeing none, Councillor McGee.
I move that the council appoints the Agricultural Service Board as the Soil Conservation Act Appeal Board per Section 14 of the Soil Conservation Act.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the question. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to 10.4, Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee. Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Through Mr. Chair, the Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee is a governance level committee that oversees governance of the emergency management framework and system. So again, this is a legislated piece, and where in the past, council has appointed the Reeve to the advisory committee and the deputy Reeve as alternate, and that is our recommendation as well this year.
Thank you. So what's the wish of council? I guess Councillor Woodstock and myself have served on that previously, so Councillor Christie.
I make the motion to appoint the Reeve to the Regional Emergency Management Advisory Committee and Deputy Reeve as an alternate.
Thank you. So we have a motion to make those appointments. My assumption is Deputy Reeve Woodstock that you're willing to serve.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Not that I have a choice. As long as you're there, I'm not.
Well, you know what they say, we always like to give you a choice. So we have the motion. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item is 10.5, which is AQUA 7 Regional Water Commission. Mr. Hogan, please.
The AQUA 7 Regional Water Commission is, as its name implies, a regional water commission made up of ourselves and six other municipalities. So they are the water commission that provides water to parts of the county, to some of our county systems, as well as to the other 6 municipal members. So we appoint one person to this board, as does each of the other municipalities. And so we're looking for council to appoint one member to the AQUA 7 Regional Water Commission.
Deputy Reeve Whitstock.
I'd be willing to stay on if that was council's wish. I've enjoyed that committee for a number of years, and think there's some continuity there.
Okay, thank you for that. And we need an alternate as well. Councillor
I
Penner.
have been the alternate, it's been a tough job, but I think I can take it on again.
Thank you, Councillor Penner, for your diligence in supporting Councillor Whitstock. Any further discussion? If not, I would need a motion. Councillor McGee.
I move that we appoint Jerry Whitstock to the AQUA 7 Regional Water Commission and Debbie Penner as alternate.
Okay, so we have a motion to appoint Councillor Whitstock to the AQUA 7 Regional Water Commission and Councillor Penner as the alternate. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. We're on to 10.6, which is the Central Alberta Economic Partnership. And again, Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, the Central Alberta Economic Partnership, or CAPE as we call it, is an economic development alliance. It's composed of municipal members from Central Alberta and looks to foster economic development in the region. Generally, we appoint a member to the CAPE board and an alternate as well.
Thank you for that. Councillor McGee.
I'd like some clarification, please, Mr. Hogan, on I've been elected onto the board, the executive part of the board as a director. That is not bearing on whether or not I'm the member, correct? Because we have made a commitment that I would be there 3 years. So I just want that clarity because we've come across the fact that some of the councils have misunderstood that. It is not a county councillor position. It is specifically designated to the name. So in case that affects people's choice. Having said that, I would love to still remain the member this year if council so approves.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor McGee. So basically, whether you were appointed by us or not, you still would serve in that board position.
Yes, I think that clarity is necessary.
Okay, but you are willing to continue to sit.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cunningham.
I would be happy to sit as alternate on that committee.
Thank you. So we have a council member and an alternate. We need a motion to that effect. Councillor Christie.
So moved.
Okay, so the motion is council appoint Councillor McGee to the Central Alberta Economic Partnership Committee and Councillor Cunningham as the alternate. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Again, that's carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item of business is 10.7, which is the Central Rural Municipalities of Alberta Zone 2 Director Committee. And Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Central RMA Director Committee is generally the committee that basically gets together outside of the normal CMRA zone meetings and helps plan what is going to be at those meetings and things like that. Traditionally, the municipalities put forward the Reeve, Deputy Reeve in these positions, so that is our recommendation for here as well.
Thank you for that. So what is the wish of council? Councillor Forbes.
That council appoint the Reeve to the Central Rural Municipalities of Alberta Director Committee and appoint the Deputy Reeve as alternate.
Thank you for that. So we have a motion to appoint the Reeve to the Central Rural Municipalities of Alberta Director Committee and appoint the Deputy Reeve as the alternate. Any further discussion? All those in, Councillor Cunningham, please.
Yeah, just a question, not probably part of the motion, but I'm just wondering if there's a time where one of either the Reeve or Deputy Reeve cannot attend, could we send somebody else in their place? Like, I don't know, it wouldn't have to be necessarily a designated person, but just put out to council. Just, it would always be nice to have two people at that meeting.
Thank you for that. Deputy Reeve Whitstock, or CAO Hogan, do you want to provide some clarity on that process?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we can. I think there's the opportunity for almost all of these that if the alternate or the primary is unable to attend, the idea behind it is that there is a council liaison there. So oftentimes your alternate, for some of these, does give a formal appointment from council that is required under some, depending on the committee, under legislation. But the intent is that there is call it a designated backup for those. If that person's unavailable for a lot of these committees, then other members could fill in.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? And that is carried unanimous as well. We're moving on to 10.8, which is Police Advisory Committee, and Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Three Hills RCMP Police Advisory Committee, or PAC, is part of the relationship between the municipalities and the local detachment. So it's intended to pass information back and forth to help assess what our priorities in the area and provide a method of communicating with one of our local RCMP detachments. So generally, I shouldn't say generally, council appoints one person to this committee and one member as an alternate.
Okay, thank you. What's Councillor Cunningham?
I'm very happy to stay on this committee. That's okay.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McGee?
I'm glad to be the alternate.
All right. We have two people willing to serve. So I would need a motion to make that official. Councillor Penner.
I'll make the motion that council appoints Councillor Cunningham and Councillor to the Police Advisory Committee and Councillor McGee as the alternate.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried unanimously as well. Thank you. 10.9, Community Futures Wild Rose. And again, Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Community Futures Wild Rose is a nonprofit entity that is governed by a board of directors. Its purpose is to foster economic development within the area. They do that through offering business programs. Incentives is the wrong word, but different business development programs of sorts. And so we're recommending that council appoint a member and an alternate to that board.
Thank you for that. Councillor Christie.
I've enjoyed this committee very much, and I'm still trying to get their money in the northern part of their zone, but it seems to be hard to get it from the south to the north. But part of that is visibility of that group in the northern area, so we keep working at it.
Yeah, I think that you have done a superb job there, and so thank you for your efforts. So we have Councillor Christie offered to serve. We need an alternate for that. Councillor McGee.
I would love to be an alternate.
Thank you for volunteering for that. I know the alternate's job is so difficult many times. Especially when you have someone who's dedicated and focused on serving in that position, it makes the alternate's job pretty simple. So I would need a motion to that effect. Councillor Cunningham.
I move council appoint Councillor Christie to the Community Futures Wild Rose Committee and Councillor McGee as alternate.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Again, that's carried unanimously. Thank you. 10.10, Kneehill Medical Services Retention and Recruitment Committee. Mr. Hogan, please.
The Kneehill Medical Services Retention and Recruitment Committee is the reformed. In the past, this was referred to as Dr. R&R, so Dr. Recruitment and Retention. With the updated terms of reference, the name has changed. It is the same committee that's responsible for finding ways or developing programs of attracting and maintaining medical services within the region. So normally council appoints one member and to the committee and an alternate.
Thank you for that. As you know, I have been council's representative on that committee for some time, and I am willing to continue if that's council's wishes. And we would need an alternate if someone cares to do that. Or if someone cares to be the actual representative, we can always debate that. Councillor McGee.
I see, Jerry, that you were the alternate. Were you interested? Because if not, I will put my name forward, whichever works best for you.
It was a really tough job, but if you want to take that over, you're sure welcome.
I'm willing to do that. I'd love to serve there.
Okay, so again, I would need a motion to that effect. Someone cares to make that motion. Councillor, Deputy Reeve Woodstock.
I would move that council appoint Reeve King to the Kneehill Medical Service Retention and Recruitment Committee and Councillor McGee as the alternate.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Again, that is carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item is 10.11, Drumheller and District Solid Waste Management Association. Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Yeah, the Drumheller and District Solid Waste Management Association is the organization that oversees waste and recycling operations within the county, as well as a number of other municipalities. So each of those member municipalities appoints people to this board, and as such, we're recommending that we appoint one member and one alternate to the Drumheller and District Solid Waste Management Association.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Penner.
I love dealing with. No, it's all fun, all fun. It's really good. I think we've gone a long way, and we've got some changes still in the works, so I would love to sit on this board again.
I think you've done an excellent job there on our behalf, and so thank you for your willingness to continue to serve there. We also would need an alternate. Councillor McGee.
I'm willing to serve as an alternate. It's just such a fun role. I just love it.
All right, so I would need a motion to that effect, I believe. Councillor Cunningham.
I move the council appoint Councillor Penner to the Drumheller and District Solid Waste Management Association and Councillor McGee as alternate.
Okay, thank you for that. And Ms. Vanderkool, if we could just get an L in the solid waste there, please. Thank you. It was bothering me. All right, we have a motion to appoint Councillor Penner to the Drumheller District Solid Waste Management Association and Councillor McGee as the alternate. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. Next item is 10.12, Kneehill Housing Corporation. And again, Mr. Hogan, please.
If you Mr. Reeve, the Kneehill Housing Corporation is the entity that looks after a number that from a governance level, looks after a number of seniors facilities in the area, including Golden Hills Lodge. So this is when you look at your tax notices and you see it's the seniors requisition, that is the money that goes to fund this entity. So we normally appoint 2 individuals and an alternate to this board of directors.
Okay. We've had a number of people who have served well there in the past. What is the wish of council? Councillor Forbes.
I would like to remain on this board.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cunningham.
I would like to remain on this board as well.
I worry about the two of you sometimes, you know, being together and being in mischief, but
You shouldn't worry at all, no. Actually, I just have to say in the 2 years that I've been on it, I've seen a lot of changes in the organization, and we've really done a lot of work with policies, so there has been a lot of really good work done.
And as council, we've heard good things, so thank you for your work there. It is appreciated, even though I give you a little bit of a bad time once in a while. Yeah. Well, you know what, we used to say you needed an adult sitting between the two of you, and I don't know if we've accomplished that or not. Yeah. All right. So we still would need an alternate as a volunteer. Would someone care to do that? Councillor McGee.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
And I also want to just say, I really appreciate the work that we did see our representatives do. There was a lot of change and work to be done there. So, yeah. And they never called on me once.
Never once, eh?
So they did it all.
That's because they're having too much fun. So we would need a motion to that effect. Someone care to make that motion? Councillor Forbes.
So moved.
Okay, Councillor Forbes has moved that council appoint Councillor Cunningham and Forbes to the Kneehill County or Kneehill Housing Corporation, and that Councillor McGee serve as the alternate. All those in favor? Again, that's carried unanimously. Next is 10.13, Kneehill Regional Family and Community Support Services Board. Mr. Hogan, please.
The Kneehill Regional Family and Community Support Services Board, or FCSS, is the board that looks after the FCSS partnership that's between us and our neighboring municipalities. The board looks after social well-being and provides preventative social programming for the area. So we're recommending that council appoint one member and one alternate to the board.
Okay, thank you for that. I have been our representative at FCSS for a number of years, and it has been quite a pleasure to be there. And so if council is willing, I'd happily go back. So, and I would need a capable backup. So someone care to serve as the alternate? Councillor McGee.
I'm willing to allow my name to be as alternate as again. And again, I want to commend Reeve King. He also served as the chairperson for this board, and I think he's taking great work and great advocacy work here for our community. So thank you for that work.
Thank you for that. It's, like I say, it's been a pleasure to sit on that board, and it's wonderful. We have amazing people working there, and so happily would do that if someone cares to make that a motion. Deputy Reeve Whitstock.
I would move the council appoint Reeve King to the Kneehill Regional Family and Community Support Services Group and Councillor McGee as the alternate.
Okay, thank you for that. All those in favor? And that's carried unanimously as well. Thank you. The next item is the Kneehill Regional Partnership, 10.14. Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Hey, through you, Mr. Chair, the Kneehill Regional Partnership is the entity that is ourselves and our 5 urban neighbors that explores ways of working together municipally for the benefit of our residents. So finding things that we can do jointly, as well as providing a training program for the area's elected officials. So we are looking to appoint one member and one alternate to the Kneehill Regional Partnership.
Again, thank you, Mr. Hogan. Councillor McGee, you have been our representative, and as mentioned previously, and a number of times you've done good work on our behalf there. Are you?
It is one of my passions. I love this group, so thank you. I would love to serve again if that suited council.
Okay, so again, thank you for the work you've done there on our behalf, and it is appreciated. So would someone care to be the alternate? Councillor Christie.
As it's alternate, such a tough job, I'll stay there.
I think most of us would line up to be alternates on most things, right? Because it's not a very difficult job to do, so. So I would need a motion then to that effect if Councillor McGee and Councillor Christie. Councillor Cunningham, thank you.
I move that council appoint Councillor McGee to the Kneehill Regional Partnership Committee and Councillor Christie as alternate.
Okay, so we have a motion. Any further discussion? I doubt it, so all in favor? And that is carried unanimously as well. Thank you. The next item is 10.15 Marigold Library System. And Mr. Hogan, again, if you would, please.
Okay. The Marigold Library System is a regional library system of which we're a part. They act as a support for our local libraries that are in the area, and we're recommending that council appoint a member and an alternate to serve as our representatives on that board.
Councillor McGee.
I would like to suggest Councillor Phobes take the main position and I become alternate. Would carry, excuse me, Councillor Phobes, love your feedback.
Absolutely, I can.
Okay, Councillor Phobes, you're willing, and, okay, so I'm assuming you're making that a motion, Councillor McGee.
Yes, so I move that we appoint Carrie Phobes to Marigold Library System Board and Faye McGee as alternate.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further discussion? There's obvious willingness on both parts, so Councillor Phobes, thank you for stepping up, and Councillor McGee, thank you for your work there. So, motion is that we appoint Councillor Phobes to the Marigold Library System Board and Councillor McGee as the alternate. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously as well. Thank you. Next item is 10.16, the Municipal Planning Commission. And Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
The Municipal Planning Commission, or MPC, is a subdivision development authority for the county. So a number of development processes flow through this board, subdivisions, discretionary use permits, and the like. There are a number of recommended motions attached to this commission. First is, as per bylaw 1784, to appoint all members of council. From there, looking to appoint a chairperson and a vice chairperson. And the following one is you do have a selection of interested applicants who are looking to fill the member-at-large positions on this committee. So there is an option, there's a decision there for council to make as well.
Okay, thank you for that. So what's our wish here? Number of motions we would have to make. First is to appoint all members of council. Councillor Phobes.
I make the motion that council appoint all members of council to the Municipal Planning Commission as per bylaw 1784.
Thank you, Councillor Phobes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Now we are responsible to appoint a chairman and a vice chair. Like chair and vice chair, or? Okay. Yes, we can, as far as the members at large are concerned, yes. Yep. And it's probably wise if we're going to have a conversation there. So if we want to do the chairperson and vice chair first, and then we can have a conversation around members at large. Sound good? All right. So traditionally, the Reeve has been the chair of the Municipal Planning Commission, but that's not necessarily what we have to do, is it?
No, that actually hasn't been that way.
It hasn't? Okay.
It just turned out that way.
Oh, it just turned out that way. Traditionally. Okay, so what's the wish of council then?
This one?
Councillor Phobes.
I would recommend that Deputy Reeve, to get used to that, Whitstock stay as the chairperson to the Municipal Planning Commission.
Okay, so is that a motion? Okay. So we have a motion that Deputy Reeve Whitstock remain as chair to the Municipal Planning Commission. You're good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried unanimous. Thank you very much. And then we need a vice chair. Councillor Penner.
Reeve King, are you interested?
As vice chair? I would back him up, sure.
If there's anyone else, but I would,
Is
nominate
someone
Reeve
else
King.
interested in being vice chair on the Municipal Planning Commission? Is that a no? Okay.
Okay, so if not, I'll make the motion that council appoints Reeve King as vice chair of the Municipal Planning Commission.
You rolled your eyes. Thank you, Councillor Penner. So we have a motion to appoint myself as the vice chair to the Municipal Planning Commission. Any further discussion? Councillor Cunningham.
Just a question, so do we appointed alternate, do we? Because I know like Councillor McGee, I think, kind of sat in that chair.
Councillor McGee was appointed as the vice chair.
As the vice chair, okay, sorry, thank you, clarification.
So, I mean, yeah. And generally speaking, if the chair and the vice chair were unable to make a meeting, then at that point, the people who are there at the meeting would elect a chair for that particular meeting, so. All right, no further discussion. We have a motion to appoint myself as the vice chair. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. So the next item, of course, is to appoint members at large, and I think it's appropriate that we have a conversation prior to making those motions. So, and I think it's appropriate that that be in closed session. So would someone care to move us into close? Deputy Reeve Whitstock.
I would make a motion to move us into closed session.
Okay, so got a motion to Okay, so we had a motion to come out of closed session at 9:41. We paused briefly to allow the gallery to return. And it's now 9:42, so I call the meeting back to order, out of recess. And we are still discussing appointment of members at large to the Municipal Planning Commission. Councillor Penner.
I would make the motion that council appoint Rick Vickery and Amy Merrill as members of large for the Municipal Planning Commission.
Okay, so we have a motion to appoint Rick Vickery and Amy Merrill as members to the Municipal Planning, members at large to the Municipal Planning Commission. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. So we, so administration will take the direction regarding the other applicants. And we will move on to 10.17, which is the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group. Mr. Hogan? Sorry, Deputy Reeve?
Jumped in.
Okay, Mr. Hogan?
Through Mr. Chair, the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group is a group of municipalities and members that basically look at water use issues along the Red Deer River. And so that is the general purpose. We normally appoint a member and an alternate to this group.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Reeve Woodstock.
I would like to remain there if possible. I represent AQUA 7 on a different board, and it's part of the operation of Red Deer River Mug Group is to represent that group.
So you're saying there's a bit of spillover there?
There could be,
Okay,
and I'm not pardoning the pun.
it was deliberate, so.
I know.
Do we need, and we need an alternate. Councillor McGee.
That was my question. The way the RFD is, it doesn't look like alternate, but two members, which is,
So my understanding is we appoint a member and then we appoint an alternate.
yes. So I do understand that as how we have the recommended motion. However, when you go down to the discussion piece, it appeared as though we have two positions, and I just wanted to have clarity on the policy, which it actually is. It should be alternate? Okay, because that got me panicked and thinking, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be there every day. So, thank you.
So
That
you-
made me feel better.
You were going to reevaluate your participation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, I looked like a fail if it was that I was supposed to be there all the time. So, so therefore, since I did not fail, I would like to put my name forward.
Okay. Thank you for that. It's always good to be clear on what the expectation is. So then, we would need a motion then to make those appointments. Councillor Cunningham.
I move to appoint Deputy Woodstock to the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group and Councillor McGee as alternate. And I should have put my mic on. Would you let me do that again?
Go ahead.
I move that council appoint Deputy Reeve Woodstock to the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group and Councillor McGee as alternate.
Thank you for that, Councillor Cunningham. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Next item is 10.18, which is the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board. And again, Mr. Hogan, if you please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, the Subdivision Development Appeal Board, SDAB, is the entity that if there was an appeal to a development decision, they are the quasi-judicial entity that would meet to hear that appeal. So with that, we're looking to appoint members to that board. It should be noted that any member of the Municipal Planning Commission cannot be appointed to the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
Okay, thank you for that. So previously, we've had 6 individuals sitting on that board, and 2 of them have expressed their wish to retire from their position. And we have 5 applicants who have applied to sit.
That is correct.
Okay. And so, what's council's wish? Councillor McGee?
I move to appoint members at large to Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for one-year term. Dennis Day, Steve Cullum, Connie Fraser, Laurie Campion, and Rob Park.
Okay, so we have a motion to appoint Dennis Day, Steve Collum, Connie Fraser, Laurie Campion, and Rob Park to the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for a one-year term. Any further discussion to that motion? Seeing Councillor Penner.
I'd just like to put out there if we should invite those that put their name forward for the Municipal Planning Commission, and unfortunately it wasn't enough seats to put them all in, if administration would like to invite them to see if they're interested in putting the name forward for this appeal board.
Okay, so the suggestion is that we approach the individuals who applied for Municipal Planning Commission and were unable to be appointed because we didn't have enough seats, that we approach them about filling the vacant position on the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
Through the chair, I can make that recommendation. I can contact them and invite them to the SDAB. And if they do acknowledge that they would like to, I will bring this back to council for ratification.
Okay, so we don't really need to make a motion to that effect, it's just more direction than anything. Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor though, and that's to appoint the 5 individuals who have applied, and 4 of which have served previously, and Mr. Park, who's new. So, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? And that motion is carried unanimously as well. Thank you very much. The next item of business is 10.19, which is Trochu Housing Commission. And again, Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Yeah, the Trochu Housing Corporation is the entity that is trying to build a seniors facility in the town of Trochu. It is a municipally controlled corporation. As part of the county's commitment to backing a potential loan for that group, we were given 1 spot on the committee itself. So we're recommending that council appoint a member and an alternate to serve as our liaison.
Okay, thank you for that. Again, I have been our council member sitting on that committee from the time that we put in place our loan guarantee. And if it's council's wish, I wouldn't mind continuing to serve on that board, corporation boards. And we need an alternate. Councillor Christie.
I enjoyed sitting as the alternate, but I get to go to the meetings, but I just sit there and take up a chair.
I think it's important that you have been present there, and 2 voices from county council sitting there at the table, I don't think is a bad thing. And I think occasionally you do more than just take up the chair.
Mr. Reeve?
Councillor Penner.
Just a further comment to that, not necessarily just for this board, but I think for any board, if anyone is interested in attending the alternates, any of the meetings, I think you should feel welcome to. I think it doesn't hurt to get a little bit of knowledge on what's the board dynamics, I guess, so.
Especially if you ever have a desire to topple the current member.
I'm like a slug though, I'm slow moving.
I see the job. But it is sometimes nice to bounce something off the alternate.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and so I think at any time, I think you should feel free to attend the meetings. It's very valuable.
Thank you for that. So we still would need a motion to make those appointments. Councillor Cunningham,
I move that council appoint Reeve King to the Trochu Housing Corporation Committee and Councillor Christie as alternate.
thank you for that. Any further discussion? And I think your point is well taken, Councillor Penner, that awareness of what's happening within those committees and the dynamics is important as well. So, thank you. Especially if you're ever tasked with having to go there. I know, like Councillor McGee, who substitutes for me at FCSS, sometimes when you go and you're like trying to catch up, it's hard. It is. And I see other alternates come to meetings that I'm attending and they feel a little bit lost at times. So it's good advice. Thank you. Councillor Christie.
One of my observations of this committee, when you read the minutes, if I'm not there, I show up as absent. I went, really?
It's motivation. All right, we have a motion to appoint to the Trochu Housing Committee, Corporation Committee, myself and Councillor Christie as the alternate. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. The next item is 10.20, and that's the Intermunicipal Collaboration Framework Committees. And again, Mr. Hogan, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our intermunicipal collaboration frameworks are the committees that handle looking after our mandated ICF agreements that we have to do with our neighboring municipalities. We do have to do a little bit of an audible here for some of the meeting, as the intermunicipal collaboration frameworks and the intermunicipal development plans that are upcoming. A recommended motion was to receive for information, but we may have to look at some of those as the Reeve is automatically appointed to these groups. As we have a new Reeve, any of them that Councillor King was appointed to as a councillor, he's now on by virtue of Reeve, and we would have a vacancy to backfill that position. So we'll be going through, we've got them up on the screen as to which of those ones that we would need to look at. If council desires, the rest can remain as is, given that they were appointed for the term of council, not on a year-to-year basis.
Thank you for that, Mr. Hogan.
Sorry.
So it's Red Deer County, Starland County, Stettler County, and that's the IDPs, and then the ICFs are Red Deer County, Three Hills, Trochu, and Stettler. So I guess my question would be to Deputy Reeve Woodstock, who served on some of those committees. Are there any of those that you would wish to continue to serve on as the council represented?
Okay, so we're talking about the IDPs.
IDPs and ICF. So the first three there, Red Deer, Starland, and Stettler are IDPs, and then the following ones are ICFs. So Red Deer, Three Hills, Trochu, and Stettler.
So according to the agenda, we are doing 1020 intermunicipal collaboration framework committees, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that's why there's confusion, so we don't want to talk about development groups yet.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we have four then, is that correct? Mr. Hogan?
That is correct.
So Red Deer, Three Hills, Trochu, and
Stettler.
Stettler.
If there's somebody else that wants to sit on the Trochu one, I wouldn't have a problem there. I'm good with the rest of them, but just my thoughts.
Councillor Cunningham?
I would be interested in sitting on the Town of Three Hills, Kneehill County one, if it's gonna change at all.
Okay, so Councillor Cunningham has indicated interest in the Three Hills one as well as Deputy Reeve Whitstock.
I can remove my name from that. Make more sense for you to say.
So most of those committees match the number coming from the participating municipal group, right?
That is correct.
So, for instance, Three Hills, they have 2 members and an alternate, so we do. Trochu, they have 3 members and an alternate, or they have actually 4 members. I don't think there is an alternate at all. And so we do, and so on, so. Anybody willing or interested to sit on the Trochu ICF committee? Carrie is there?
Yeah,
Yep. What are you thinking?
I can stay on the Trochu one.
Okay, so we're really looking for someone to replace myself on that. Because I'll still be there, but we're actually looking, yeah, go ahead.
I'd be happy to sit on the Trochu one.
Okay. And the indication from Deputy Reeve Whitstock is he'd happily let somebody else serve there. So then the question becomes, Deputy Reeve, are you willing to sit on the Stettler and Red Deer ones?
Yes, I am.
So we would just interchange my name with Reeve, Jerry Whitstock, those are correct. So then it's just the Stettler one then, Carolyn? Are we?
There's 4. There was Red Deer County, Three Hills, Trochu, and Stettler.
Yeah, so what we're saying is the Stettler one would be the Reeve, Jerry Whitstock. Yeah, okay, but not on the list of names.
That's, yeah.
Three Hills would be Councillor Cunningham. Trochu would be Councillor Cunningham. And Stettler would be Deputy Reeve Whitstock. And those appointments, Mr. Hogan, you said were made for the term of council, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, so someone care to make the motion to make those appointments? Yes.
So moved.
So the motion is that we appoint the people to the various ICF committees as designated in the motion. So we don't have to read all that verbiage. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried unanimously. And last on the agenda for this particular meeting is 10.21, which is Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee. Again, Mr. Hogan, please.
Through Mr. Chair, this is basically the same idea as we just did. Given the change in Reeve and Deputy Reeve, there are now some amendments that we should be looking to make to these committees. So the recommended motion from administration will change accordingly. And again, we have those up on the screen in front of you.
Okay, so in this case, we have 3, which is Red Deer County, Starland County, and Stettler County. So again, I guess my question would be to you, Deputy Reeve Whitstock, regarding your willingness to, I guess, flip positions with me and serve on those committees.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that.
Thank you for your willingness to do that. I think you bring continuity to the discussion, so. Okay, so I guess the motion will be to make the appointments as listed. So someone care to make that motion? Councillor Christie.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion to appoint the members as listed to the Intermunicipal Development Plan Committees for the appropriate communities. All those in favor? And that's carried unanimously. And there's only one other motion to be made here, and that's to adjourn the organizational meeting for October 24th, 2023 at 10:02, and we are in recess for 15 minutes. And I thank you for your patience to plow through. It's like, hurry up and get done.